Morel, and I'm doing an interview on drug trafficking, and I'm interviewing Morris. My first question about drug trafficking is, why would you say drug trafficking has affected your life?
Drug trafficking? Well, I think just just drugs over the last 30, 40 years that I've grown up. I'm 45, so over the last 3 decades, I've seen the effects of drugs and drug culture on the U.S. And specifically on people in my lives, and it's just this influx of drugs into America has just affected everything in our culture. It's just something we really need to tackle. It's the way we treat drugs and drugs addiction is a big issue in the U.S. Just locking people up in prisons, we see is just not working anymore. And so this is really affecting so much in our society in general, and like I said, for my personal lives. I've seen drugs affect people's lives out, not just drugs, legal drugs, but alcohol, and the combination of the two really has affected, like I said, a lot of people in my personal life as well.
Do you think it is bad for community drug dealers to distribute drugs?
Oh yeah. Any illegal activity has to be whether someone's selling legal cigarettes, whether someone's selling alcohol that's untaxed, any of this stuff has to be regulated. This is just a rampant thing. It's just got out of control, and that's what's happened with drugs since the 1960s. It's just got out of control, and there's very little we can do now as far as unless we do something really, really radical, and see if it works.
Okay. The next question is, did it only affect you or your family?
My family, we really didn't have any issues with drugs. It has affected me. One of my good friends, he did back in the 90s, he went out west, and he actually did become hooked on drugs, heroin, and he's actually, he came back. We had to be tough on him. We didn't call him, we didn't talk to him. Him and his family, the same thing. His family kicked him out, and eventually he got help, and he's been going to AA, NA for like 18 years now, which is very good. This was probably like 18 years ago. So, we had to be tough on him. That was the way we all felt that we were going to do it. We just weren't going to hang out with him and everything like that. So he was a good friend of mine, still a good friend of mine, and that's my real, real experience with drug users.
Can distributing drugs lead to death or robbery?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Not only can death as far as ODs and stuff like that, but as far as street crime, we're seeing a lot of street crime now. I would say 80% of all street crime is tied in with illegal drugs at this point. And not only that, it's a serious crime in the eyes of the law. It's a charge that you can never erase from your record. It's a serious felony that's going to carry with you everywhere you go, as far as that goes.
So you think the law enforcement is handling drug trafficking well or not?
They're doing what they can right now. We do need some answers. We do need, once hopefully we get through this recession stuff, we need to really examine this. This is something we need to have our top politicians and top intellectuals really tackle this, because obviously what we've been doing since the 60s has not been working. 40 years of drug policy of just locking people up is obviously not even coming close to working in any way. So we really need some real answers for tackling this problem as far as drug trafficking. But the thing is, I guess, is like Customs and FBI and federal agencies doing what they can to curb the drug influx into this country, and that's really all they can do at this point.
In what way do you see drug trafficking affecting our students in the school, or students in general?
Well, the thing is, it's just that it's the availability, especially marijuana. The availability of that and other drugs is just ridiculous. And the more available they are, of course, just basic economics, the price is going to come down, and there's more. It's more easier for them to access from the lower price and the availability. So I think it does affect it does affect everybody in society, especially young people. People are going to rebel and sort of go that route. They're going to, you tell them not to touch the stove, they're going to touch the stove to see if it's hot. So, it really does affect society, especially the younger people who are still kind of finding their way in life.
Do you think law enforcement should do more arresting in this case?
I think we need other answers. I don't think just slapping cuffs, writing tickets, this and that is really going to work. I think we really need to look at rehabilitation, look at different answers, maybe a different prison system. Whereas we categorized people for lighter offenses versus more serious felony offenses, and we really just need to go that route. I think we really need to look at our penal system and how we punish people.
What different techniques do you think we could use to stop drug trafficking in other communities or in our societies?
It's really tough. It's really tough. I don't believe necessarily in legalization. But you know, we have to explore other venues as well. Like I said, what we're doing is definitely not working. Okay, it's definitely not working, and you know, I don't know if we need tighter probationary measures on some past offenders or things of that nature, but you know, we're being just overextended. Our probation officers, our penal system cannot. We don't have enough people and manpower and places to store people, you know, as far as prisoners. We don't have enough parole and probation officers to monitor everybody. So it's really tough. We really need to look at different things. Maybe we can start with education, educating kids very young as a priority and the parents as well, as a priority against drug addiction and drug culture and you know, use of drugs.
So you think, like, if we stop drug dealers, you think the community would be a better place to like be at?
Yeah. Drugs attract crime. You know, unfortunately, gambling does too. Atlantic City has crime now they didn't have before. You know, before the rise of gambling. Anything we kind of think is a negative is going to attract crime. Is going to attract seedy behavior. Is going to attract this element. You know, you think about these towns down the Jersey Shore that have a lot of bars. They too are attracting. You know, that has nothing to do with drugs, but they too are attracting a negative element. So anytime you have this sort of negative activity or criminal activity going on, it's just going to escalate and grow.
All right. Thank you for the interview, Mr. Morris.
You're welcome.
All right.